So we've done the conversion. There are three types of questions. Converting from a Babylonian number to decimal, converting from decimal to Babylonian, and arithmetic. That's what we did for the Roman numbers. That's what we're going to do here. So we have to start with the arithmetic exercise. And it is 6.5. 6.5. First one, is it numbered A or numbered 1? A. I know, that is a typo, which you may or may not have in your book. Yes. I collect all the corrections, and then the next time it should be fixed. Obviously, it's Babylonian. Have we? I don't remember. No, maybe we haven't. Have we done 6.3?
Yes.
Okay, so we should actually be on 6.4, which is a nice little warm-up. Good reminder. Even though you don't need it, you have done Babylonian numbers constantly in the last few days, but reminding me, obviously I need it. 6.4, okay, so I need to just do a conversion again. Numbers with this empty placeholder, I guess is what this is practicing. So, in 1A, I have to go back and forth because I forgot my book. I have a 3-place number, so it's the first one counting 60 squared, then 60s, then 1s. So that, I need to zoom in a little more perhaps. Ooh. 36. Fine. It's nice in the video to see it. Okay. 36 times 60 squared plus nothing. But I'll emphasize that I did consider that, and it's 0 groups of 60. And then 25 left over. You put it in your calculator. You can put it again. Somewhere, my 5-year-old picked up from school somewhere, maybe the teacher, maybe someone else, and she repeats all the time, you get what you get and you don't get upset. All the time. When her sister gets upset. You get what you get and you don't get upset. I don't know where she learned this. Yeah. Do they teach that? Oh, so that you can... Oh, you get what you get. Yeah. Okay. It's true. It's a good one to learn. Anyway, what do we get? This is where you do stuff.
129,625.
That was said with confidence, but let's just double check. All right. So make sure your calculator is your friend and works with you, not against you, and everything should be fine. Then we have a 2-place number in B. That's nice. 11 groups of 60. I'll say plus 0 to show I did consider what that symbol meant. And that would be 660. That was an easy one. Then 3-place number 12 groups of 60 squared, 0 groups of 60, 0 left over, 12 times 60 squared. That would be the easiest version of these questions. If I have these empty spaces, it's 0, so it makes the calculation easier. 43,200. All right. Piece of cake. The other conversion, perhaps a little more complicated. Not too much. I just have to split this up, whether you want to use the table or not. They're not here today. Oh, they're at the back. No, yeah. Whether you want to use a table or not, however you want to figure out the splitting of the groups, it's up to you. The table helps me, so I need the number 43,256. 43,256. So I want to know which powers of 60 do I need to look at, then how many of them can fit, then what have I used. So if you're not sure how to get the answer, this is a good guide that you may want to use, but it is up to you. How much I have left for the last column. So the highest power of 60 will be 60 squared, because I know the next one is 216,000. That's too big. So how many times does 3,600 fit into 43,256? Only whole times. So you do a division, you drop the decimals, and we get 12. Then 12 times 3,600 is what I've used. I've used 43,200 because we did it up there. How much do I have left? Oh, not a lot. Little 56. But once you start with a power of 60, you have to go all the way down. Can't skip them anymore. So I do have to consider the 60s. Clearly, in the 56 that are left, no 60s can fit. I've used nothing. I still have 56 left. And the ones will take all of them, use all of them, nothing left, done. So that tells me that the original quantity can be split up as 12 groups of 60 squared, 0 groups of 60, and 56 left over. Is everyone happy with that split? Well, as happy as you can be coming back after a long weekend. At least it's sunny. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see the number and have space. So 3-place number 12. Oh, 12 is not bad. Space, empty symbol, space, 50. Stack some 10s, and then 2 rows of 3 1s, and there you go. Nothing that a little practice can't fix. Any questions on this one? Too easy? Yeah. Sorry. After a little bit of practice, it is quite straightforward, I have to admit. Let's do the B and the C one so that we're complete. We're not in a hurry. B is the number 125,220. Oops, 125,220. Again, you don't have to use the table. If you just want to split it, go right ahead. But the table is there to give some structure to your calculations and keep track of everything. The more you write down, the less you have to keep track of in your head. So I've decided on this, and I'm always going to do the same thing. Now the highest power of 60 is again going to be 60 squared, because the next one is 216,000, which I know is too big. And then I have to go down all the way to the ones. How many times does 3600 fit into the number? 34. Then what have I used? 34 times 3600? Ooh, it's close. How much is left? Subtract. Oh, burn. 122, 400. All right. How much do I have left? And I can see that's smaller than 3600, so I couldn't have fit in more. Then how many 60s can go in there? Ooh, quite a bit. Into what's left? 40 something? 47? 60 times 47 is what I've used. And that is 800 and? Oh, it's exact? Oh, sweet. So I have nothing left. There are no ones, none used, none left. But I do have to consider it because I have 3 places. So 34 groups of 60 squared, 47 groups of 60, and nothing left. Zooming out. So I have a 3-place number, 34. Whoops, no, that's too big. 34 space 47 and then a little empty symbol to show, otherwise it would be a 2-place number and not the right quantity. Those aren't very close together. They should be a little closer together. Any questions or comments on that one? You see the same thing over and over and over. I don't want to shut off my thinking completely, but it does become fairly straightforward after a while, hopefully. One more, 36,010. 36,010. You know, I think we can just do the split, because this is a fairly easy one. But you can use the table, you can do the table, you will see how many 60 squared, because remember that's 3600, can I fit in there. I'm thinking 10. Because 10 times that is, oops, not 36. 10 times 3600 is 36,000. And then I just have 10 left. So my number would just be 10 space 10. I'm just checking, just paying attention. Once I pick a power of 60, I have to go all the way down, and the 10 goes in the ones column. There are no 60s. So it will be 10 space, empty symbol, space, 10. So only because that number was fairly simple and I was multiplying by 10, I didn't want to use the table. The table's optional. It's there if you need it. If you don't need it, don't do it. It's all good. You're still welcome to use the table if you want to. All right, can we do addition now? Yeah. Okay, I'm waiting. We'll do multiplication, don't you worry. But maybe we should start with addition. We won't do division if that helps you. All right, moving on. There we go. 6.5 First one. Now, the method is the same. What is the first thing you do? That is the last thing you should ever do. The goal here is to stay within Babylonian. You are not allowed to switch. As much as you want to, you're not. Same for Roman, right? You have to stay in the Roman system. You have to stay in the Babylonian system. The conversion questions have already been done. This is not a conversion question. Given that, what is the first thing Timmy should do? Line them up. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. So I do need to copy correctly. And sometimes these guys are small on paper, so I make sure everything's lined up correctly. Now in A, they're both 3-place numbers. So the first one has 3 places, 10 and then 37 and 3. So 10, 37, and 3. Give yourself nice space. I'm adding, and the next one I'm adding is 14. Let me just do this one at a time. The copying is a little tedious, yes. Then the middle one in this number here is 17 and then 6. So 17 and then 6. Double check that I wrote this down correctly, because that's just a silly mistake. If you copied it wrong, that is just, you don't want to do that. Take the extra few seconds to just double check. It's worth it. Did I write everything down right? I didn't do anything on purpose, but I can still make mistakes. I didn't have my book, so I'm back and forth, so it's easy to make a mistake. At least in the test, you would have the number right there and you're copying it, but still. It's rare that people copy wrong, but you don't want that to happen to you. Everyone happy with my lining up? All right. Method stays the same. Right to left. Ones column. I have 3. They're not perfectly lined up. I apologize. 3 plus 6. Does that fit? Yeah, it fits. It's a little annoying to draw 9, but it fits. Then I have in the middle column 37 plus 17. 37 plus 17. Try not to use your calculator here to practice. 37 plus 17. 54. Does 54 fit? We're not counting in tens. We're counting in 60s. 54. So as long as my number is 59 and under, it fits in that place. Then the last column, 10 and 14, that's easy 24. I am done. So this was just one to ease you in, right? No carryover, nothing. It can happen sometimes. Focus on the method and the 60s, and nothing else has changed. The method hasn't changed. Only the 60s and the face of the numbers have changed. Any questions? I don't want to hurry in any way. Actually, I'm trying to stretch this out, to be honest. Otherwise, we have like 3 catch-up days, and then people start complaining. We're not doing enough. No, you want to complain? I don't know. You get people that are really serious, like, I need to be busy all the time. Which is fine. But I think this will take us 1 or 2 days, whatever, how long it takes, doesn't matter. As long as we understand what we're doing. So obviously this one wasn't the hardest one. Let's move on to something more interesting, which I'm sure the next one will be. The copying. Oh, it's annoying. 3 places again. So for these numbers, we stick to 2 and 3 places. Maybe 4, but it's unlikely. Okay, so 3 places. So it's 13 for my first one. Leave some space at the top. You don't know how much I'm going to have to carry. 13 space to 54. That's going to be big. 54. I'm a little slower than you probably. 31. Okay. Oh, that's getting out of hand. Sloppy. Plus. Second number here is 17, 1. You can tell me the other one. 17. The Roman numbers were so much easier to copy. 1 was the last one. 38. This saves me from going back and forth so much. Okay. Really a 1 in the middle? Alright, fine. I'm sure there was a reason. I want to see the worst case now so that nothing else is going to ever be so bad. Alright, right to left. I have a 31 plus a 38. 31 plus 38? 69, that's too big. So what I'm going to do is carry over 1 group of 60 and 9 are left. So it's a little different than Roman because Roman didn't have any place values. Here, when I'm in the 60 column, only 60 is carried over, which is 1 group of 60. So a 1. Then I'm adding 1 and 54, which makes 55, and another one is 56. That fits. 56. Nothing's carried over. And then in the last column, I have 13 plus 17, giving me 30. So I think it's still easing us in here with 1 carry over happening. Everyone happy with the way we carried it over? Yes. Remember, we're counting in 60s. So as soon as I make a group of 60, think about it as you put all the 60 little things in a bag. How many bags are you moving over? Just 1 bag. They're now 1 thing. Because in this middle column, here, all of these things are counting 60s. They're counting those bags. So I took, I had 60 here, right? If I want to do it like this. I put it in a bag, tied up the bag, 1 bag goes over. Because that middle column is counting the groups of 60. I made 1 group of 60, therefore 1 is carried over. Just like our decimal addition, if you think of, I don't know, 127 plus 9, what are we really doing? 7 plus 9 is 16. That is 1 group of 10 and 6 left over. But you don't write 10 here because these are counting the 10s. How many 10s did you carry over? Just 1. Which then becomes this is really 10 plus 20, giving you 30. But when you count inside that column, it's really one group of 10 plus two groups of 10, giving me three groups of 10. But this 10 things that I had in the right column get tied up and become, what was that? One thing that I carry over. Nothing is changing in the method. Here I'm just not counting 10s, I'm counting 60s. So I had 60 that I could tie up in a bag, and one of that group, one of those bags can carry over. Try to see the similarities between what we're used to doing and what we're doing here, and it's very similar. Let's do one more to see, hopefully a little more carrying over, but I'm sure in the problems there would be as well. Alrighty, so 3 places and 3 places again. You can just read me the numbers. Give yourself some space at the top, you never know. So the first number is, I don't have my book, so you just tell me. 42. 22. And then 47. Oh, my 10s are not good today. 7, you said. Plus the next number. 13. 40. 24. All right. Let's see how this goes. Right to left, we have 47 plus 24. 71. 71 is one group of 60 and 11 left over. Now I'm counting in the middle column. 1 and 22 is 23. 23 and another 40. 63. That means one group of 60 and 3 left over. Then in the last column, I have 1 plus 42, so that's 43. 43 and 13. 56 can fit. 56 can fit. And we're done. Focus on the similarities and the method. This is why we're doing this is to highlight the method. That if you see the method in different situations, you really understand how it works. And you're not sort of fooled by little shortcuts that our decimal system encourages. But you know exactly what you're doing and why. Any questions on the carrying? So quiet now. Is addition breaking you? Oh, too easy, I know. So let's hope subtraction has something more to offer. That was the last one, yeah. So 6.6. Subtraction. And again, method's the same. But I'm going to have to copy this down carefully. So 3 places everywhere. So for the first one, that is our question. You can read off, I think the first one. The first one was 24? 24. And then you can read the others to save me some time. Next place. 26. Last place in that first number. How much? 30. And why I stacked them so big. What's wrong with me? Then I'm subtracting. What is the first place that I'm subtracting? 18. Ooh, 8. Next place, 14. Last place in that second number, 39. Oh man. All right. Now I'm focusing on my subtraction method, which has potential borrowing. All right, did we write down everything right? That's step one. Definitely check that first. Okay, so right to left again. I have 30 take away 39. It's not enough. So I borrow. What do I borrow? I borrow 1. I borrow 1. 1 from that middle column splits like a bag. I took one bag, now I tie up in the bag, dump it. What do I have? I have 60. Now, it's just, I think, going to be simpler if we just list all the 10s that we have. Not that it's actually a number. It's just all of this now come together to give me the number I take from, or the quantity. So that means I have 90, and I take away 39. What's left? 51. Whoops. 51 is left. Let me do this out. 51. 51. All right. So what is left in the middle column? 25 is left. Minus 14. That's enough. 25 minus 14, 11. I'm not lining my stuff up nicely. Then I have 24 minus 18. That is also perfectly fine. And a little 6. I always borrow 1. Just like in Roman, I borrow 1 from that column. And then that splits open and gives me a lot. Questions on borrowing. What time do we have? Lots of, wow, lots of time. Too much time. Because you don't ask any questions. Is it really that easy? Yeah, I mean, the methods are the same. And you've gotten, I guess, used to the Roman method. It's just the face of it's different in a way. All right, good. Do I have space for one more? Yeah. No. Let us see. No, it certainly is just practice, but we want to make sure that everyone understands the method before you go off and practice it. The middle one starts with 14. Give yourself some space at the top for sure. 14. And then the next place is 22. I see you're copying as well. That's fine. I'll do it. 33. Take away 7. Next place is 48. Oops. 22, he says, really? Still not that much. I'm looking to borrow. Make it as hard as possible, and then any test question is going to be a breeze. All right, after I've checked that everything is written down correctly and lined up for convenience, I go right to left. 33 minus 23. Oh, that's shockingly easy. Maybe the next one has some challenges. It looks like it does. Middle column, 22 minus 48. That's not going to happen. So I borrow 1, which splits open into 10, 10, 10, 6 of them, 16. Now I have this many to take away from. That is now 82 minus 48. 82 minus 48. 34. Do you need another lesson in the rapid math? So it gets easier. All right. What did I say? 34. This Friday it's happening. So please show up this Friday for more rapid math fun. I think it's this Friday. The 12th. Pretty sure this is this Friday. Alrighty, and then the last one, last column, that one is gone, so I have only 13 minus 7, so 6. I feel bad that this is too easy for you. I'm not challenging you enough. Sorry. Yeah, we'll see how much time there is, sure. I definitely don't want to do multiplication. We'll do that tomorrow. Oh, why did I do that? So let's see. 6. Ooh, 6? It's not that I don't believe you, but it was 26. I heard you probably said 26. And then 3. Oh, that's easy. But I feel it's a setup. 51. Minus 9. So tedious. But I need to line them up. I mean, if you see them in one line, it's going to be so much more difficult to subtract. Because it's not my system I've grown up with. It's hard. The middle one is a 30. 39? Stop with the 9s. Who wrote this book? Well, I mean, when I make up the questions, I don't think about having to actually do them. And then a 6. Okay, that's doable. All right. Whew. All right. Probably won't be enough time for more, but we can always do more examples in our catch-up session. Right to left, I have 51 minus 6. That definitely fits. 45. And then my middle column, I have 3 minus way too much. Doesn't even matter. It's more than 3, so I have to borrow. So I borrow 1. It splits into 60, or 6 tens that come together with the 3 to give me 63. and I take away 39. 63 minus 39, 24. No? I don't believe anything he says. Well, some things you can believe, I'm sure. But he could just do it on purpose and throw out a number just to see if everyone's paying attention. Yeah? Everyone happy with 24? A lot of arithmetic. Really, the early stages of math is all arithmetic. You have solid arithmetic, it just gives you so much confidence. But it's also hard to get. I have left in the last column 25, and I take away 9. That is a nice 16. Oh, yeah, throw in the wrong one now and then. See who's paying attention.
Please remember to click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe if you want to be notified of more videos. Thank you.